Hello everyone, and welcome back to the BlueCube channel. Continuing our animation course with Adobe Animate, in this video, I'll teach you, through a practical project, how to create depth in a scene and animate the movement of planets. First, I'm going to create the rotation and movement of the Earth. I'll start by importing an image from my computer. I go to my Pictures folder, drag the image, and place it on my stage. You can download the map of the land from Google or other websites. As you can see, the image is quite large. Now, I click on the image and use the free transform tool. In the Properties panel, make sure the lock icon is active. Now, I'm going to scale the image down. This size looks fine, but I'll make it a little smaller again and place it in this area. Then I click this option and press Ctrl+1 to view my work in full screen. I'll shrink it slightly more like this. I name this layer Map. Next, I'll create a new layer. Using the Oval tool, I hold down Shift and draw a perfect circle like this. I select the circle and position it here. The color doesn't matter because we're going to place the map image over it anyway. I open the Align panel and center it both vertically and horizontally so that it sits exactly in the middle of the stage. Now, I double-click on this paper-like icon to open its settings. I set the opacity to 50 and click OK so I can see the circle underneath. This helps me align the map properly. I also go to the Properties panel and change the background color of my document. When you click the free transform tool, you can adjust the document's color in the Properties panel. I'll slightly change it so that the white background blends better with the document color. Now, I'll make the map image a bit smaller again so its width matches the circle's size. Something like this looks right. Using the arrow keys on my keyboard, I fine-tune its position. That looks about right. Now I select the map, hold Shift, and move it slightly forward like this. I align the map so that the edges line up. Perfect. Next, I hold the Alt key and drag to make a duplicate of this map, positioning it exactly in line with the first one so both maps are perfectly aligned. When I click the map layer, both images are selected together. I press F8 to convert them into a symbol and click OK. Then I click the circles layer, press F8 again, convert it to a symbol, and click OK. Now I move to frame 50. I select both frames and insert keyframes so they appear on the timeline. On the map layer, I right-click and choose Create Classic Tween. Then, at the last frame, I click the map, hold Shift, and drag it forward, making sure this position aligns with the starting one. As you can see, this works well. Next, I double-click inside the circle symbol and make it visible so I can see the full shape. I right-click and duplicate it like this. I drag the duplicate below, so one circle layer is above the map and the other is below it. On the top circle layer, I right-click and select Mask. If I press play now, you can see that because the map is masked, only the circular area is visible. It looks like our Earth is rotating. Now I select everything again so that all frames are highlighted. I open the Filters section, choose Glow, and add a soft glowing effect, maybe white or light gray. I increase the glow a bit, and you can see a soft white rim appear around the Earth. You can make it darker or lighter depending on your preference. If I play it now, the animation looks more natural. When I enable loop, you'll see the Earth continuously spinning like this. I used a white glow, but I prefer it a bit darker. I select the layer again, make sure all frames are highlighted, and choose a slightly darker tone. That looks good now. Next, I select this layer, hold Shift, and also select the other related layer. I right-click and choose Convert Layers to Symbol, naming it Earth, then click OK. If I open the Library panel now, you'll see the Earth symbol is there. I can right-click on it, select Save As, and save it with the same name so it appears in the Assets section. Now it's saved. I return to the timeline. Now I can easily delete this instance and create a new layer, deleting the old one as well. I drag the Earth symbol from the library onto the stage and click OK, so my Earth appears here. Now I want the Earth to orbit around the Sun to give a sense of depth. To demonstrate that, I'll leave the Earth aside for now. I create a new layer and import my Illustrator file of the Sun by dragging it onto the stage and clicking Import. The Sun appears here. Let's align it to the center of the stage using the Align panel. This file includes several parts, the Sun itself, its shade, and other details. I select both of these layers, right-click, and choose Convert to Symbol, then click OK to make them one symbol. I delete the unnecessary layers. Now I have two layers, one for the Earth and one for the Sun. I'll lock the Sun layer for now so it won't move. I select the Earth layer and place it here. I make it slightly smaller, or maybe enlarge the Sun a bit instead. Then I lock the Sun again, move the Earth layer to the top, and make it a bit smaller so it fits nicely. I center it again. Now, with the Earth layer selected, I open the Layer Depth panel. To make it easier to work in the Layer Depth panel, I'm changing the color of the ground layer to red so that the layer colors are different. This window shows the camera and two depth lines representing our layers. The red line indicates the Earth, and as I drag it backward, it moves behind the Sun. If I bring it forward, it appears in front. If I push it back, it disappears behind the Sun. So regardless of whether the Earth layer is above or below the Sun layer in the timeline, we can control its front or back position using layer depth. You can also adjust this numerically. Positive numbers bring it forward, negative numbers send it backward. The green line represents the Sun. If I move it, it shifts closer or farther from the camera. I press Ctrl+Z to reset it. We can also add a camera, something I taught in previous lessons. You can insert a camera layer from here. Once added, the Layer Depth panel shows it clearly. You can move the camera backward or forward like this. We'll use the camera in future projects. For now, I just wanted you to see how it works. I press Ctrl+Z to reset again and set the Earth's depth value back to 0. When all depth values are 0, whichever layer is higher on the timeline appears in front. For now, the Earth is above the Sun, so it's visible in front. Now we have 50 frames. I click and drag down, choose Insert Frame, and extend the animation to 100 frames. I'll temporarily disable Loop. I select the Earth layer, right-click, and choose Create Motion Tween. Since the Earth was already a symbol, we can apply the tween directly. At frame 1, I set the depth value to 200 so the Earth moves backward behind the Sun. The further the value increases, the deeper it goes. Negative values bring it closer to the camera. So at frame 1, it's 200, far back. At frame 50, I set the depth to -200, meaning the Earth moves forward in front of the Sun. Finally, at the last frame, I set it back to 200 so it moves behind again. So, frame 1 depth 200, frame 50 depth minus 200, frame 100 depth 200. This creates a full orbit. Next, I go to frame 25, select the Earth with the free transform tool, hold Shift, and drag it slightly to the left. Something like this looks good. At frame 50, I place the Earth directly in front of the Sun. You'll see the orbit effect forming. Then, at frame 75, I hold Shift again and drag the Earth to the right, and finally at the last frame, I move it exactly behind the Sun. Now, what happens? Let's play the animation and enable loop. When I press play, you can see the Earth moving smoothly around the Sun, from back to front and back again. If I press Ctrl plus Enter, you'll see the full effect. The Earth comes from behind, passes in front, and continues orbiting. However, there's one problem: the motion feels a bit stiff and bouncy instead of smooth and circular. To fix that, I open the Earth's layer, double-click the tween to open the graph editor, which I taught in earlier lessons. You should be familiar with it by now. Here, I select the x-axis, location X, and want to remove the sharp linear motion. I click this option, hold Alt, select a keyframe point, and drag it to create a curve. I release Alt, adjust the handles again, and form a smooth curve. I do the same at the top point, select, hold Alt, drag to form another curve, then release. Now when I play the animation, you'll notice the motion is much smoother and the stiffness is gone. You can open or close the layer depth panel from here anytime. I double-click again to close it. I lower this panel a bit and press Ctrl plus Enter to preview. You can see now that the Earth rotates and orbits around the Sun beautifully. We've successfully created this nice, realistic animation. Alright, that brings this tutorial to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video, and until the next one, goodbye for now.